Hey Indian, so let's practice to English reading as we read daily. So let's start. Once a year, I have often reflect upon Robert Frost's poem, choosing not to listen to my highly educated dad's advice and attitude about money was a painful decision. But it was a decision that shaped the rest of my life. Once I made up my mind about to whom to listen to, my education about money began. My rich dad taught me over a period of 30 years until I was 39 years old. I stopped when he realized that I knew and fully understood what he had been trying to drum into my often thick skull. Money is one form of a power, but what is more powerful is financial education. Money come money comes and goes, but if you have the education about how money works, you gain power over it and can being building wealth. The reason positive thinking alone does not work is because most people went to school and never learned how money works. So they spend their life working for money. Because I was only 9 years old when I started, the lesson my rich dad taught me were simple. And when it was all said and done, there were only six main lessons repeated over 30 years. This book is about those six lessons put as simply as possible, just as simply as my rich dad put forth those lessons to me. The lessons are meant not to be answer, but guideposts. Write down this word. That will assist you and your children and your families to grow wealthier no matter what happen in a world of increasing chance and also uncertainty. Okay, then we start lesson number first. The rich don't work for money. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Dad, Dad, can you tell me how to get rich? My dad put down the evening paper. Why do you want to get rich, son? Because today Jimmy's mom drove up in their new Cadillac and they were going to their beach house for the weekend. Oh, he took three of his friends, but Mike and I weren't invited. They told us we weren't invited because we were poor kids. They did? My dad asked incredulously. Yeah, they did. I replied in a hard tone. My dad silently shook his head, pushed him glass up and bridge off his nose, and went back to reading the paper. I stood waiting for an answer. They were, the year was 1956. I was 9 year old. By some twice of fat, I attended the same public school where the rich people send their kids. We were primary a sugar plantations town in Hawaii. The manager of the plantation and the other affluent people, such as a doctor, business owner, and bankers, sent their children to this public elementary school. After grade 6, their children were generally sent off to private schools because my family lived on one side of the street. I went to this school. Had I lived on the other side of the street, I would have go to different school with kids from families more like mine. After grade 6, this kid and I go on the public intermediate and high school. There was no private school from them or for me. My dad finally put down the paper. I could tell he was thinking. Well, son, he began slowly. If you want to be rich, you have to learn to make money. How how do I make money? I asked. Well, use your head, son, he said, smiling. Even then, I knew that really meant that's all I am going to tell you, or I don't know the answer. So don't embarrass me. A partnership is formed. The next morning, I told my best friend Mike what my dad had said. As best as I could tell, Mike and I were the only poor kid in this school. Mike was also in this school by a twice of fat. Someone had drawn a job in the line for the school district, and we would up in school with the rich kid. We weren't really poor, but we felt as if we were because all the other boys had new baseball gloves, new bicycle, new everything. Mom and dad provided us with these basic like food, shelter, and clothes, but that was about it. My dad used to say, if you want something, work for it. We wanted things, but there was not much work available for 9-year-old boy. So what do we do to make money? Mike asked. I don't know, I said. But do you want to be my partner? He agreed. And so on that Saturday morning, Mike become my first business partner. We spent all morning coming up with idea on how to make money. Occasionally, we talked about all the cool guys at Jimmy's beach house having fun. In heart a little, but that heart was good because it inspired us to keep thinking of a way to make money. Finally, that afternoon, a bolt of lightning star. It was an idea Mike got from a science book he had read. Excitedly, He shook hand and the partnership now had a business. For the next several weeks, Mike and I ran around neighborhood knocking on door and asking our neighbors if they would save their toothpaste tube for us. With puzzled look, most adults consented with a smile. Some asked us what we were doing, to which we replied, "We can't tell you, isn't a business secret." My mom grew distressed as the week wore on. We had selected a site next to her washing machine as the place we would stockpile our raw materials. In a brown cardboard box that at one time held ketchup bottle, our little pile of used toothpaste tube began to grow. Finally, finally, my mom put her foot down. The sight of her neighbor's messy, crumbled, used toothpaste tube had gotten to her. "What are you boys doing?" she asked. "And I don't want to hear again that it's a business secret. Do something with this mess, or I am going to throw it out." Hey guys, that is enough for this day. We'll trying to practice tomorrow.